What is up, guys? Fishing Adventures AU back with another video. If you looked at the title of this video, then you know it's about my light tackle combo that I use to catch striper and sometimes halibut here in the Bay Area. In this video, I'll be going over the combo that I use, the line that I use, and just one of the lures that I use 90% of the time when I'm chasing striper here in the Bay. So let's get into it. All right, so this is my light tackle combo, and I use this whenever I'm chasing, pretty decent striper here in the Bay. It's not like we catch anything crazy, but, a setup like this can make even those 19 inchers pretty fun. And when you get up to those 20, 23 inchers, then, you're having a lot of fun on this rod, and it's a pretty good fight. So this is just a light rod. It's called a Wicked Weasel. It's a 7-foot, medium, light, fast, single-piece rod. Two-piece rod actually, and I'm only casting about 2 to 14 grams with this rod, so it's really nothing crazy. I mean, it has a good amount of action in the tip here, as you can see. So it's got a good amount of wiggle, and this rod casts up to a 1/2 ounce, and most of the time I'm throwing about a 1/2 ounce because usually I'm in open water and I do want that extra casting distance. So yeah, I just got this one rigged up right now. I have it paired with this 2500 size reel. This is a TD Black. I also got it from Australia, so you probably won't be able to get it here in the US, but any 2500 size reel will do. Sorry, these wasps are going insane right now. But yeah, so if you get like a Fuego, or if you get just any 2500 size reel, it's going to be pretty comparable to this one. Daiwa, Shimano. I like both of them. I'm kind of leaning towards Shimano nowadays for their durability. And I know Daiwa's super durable as well, but I just found that Shimano's a bit more durable for what I use it for in saltwater. But yeah, this is just 2500 size reel here. And we got it paired up with about 200 yards of 10-pound Sufix. This is the blue. It's Sufix 832. So I'll just make sure you guys can see that there. But yeah, it's Sufix 832 in Island Blue. And I honestly really enjoy it. I don't think there's a need to really go heavier than 10-pound line in the Bay Area for pretty much 90% of your striper. I mean, a lot of the guys, they like to go 30 or upwards, but on my heavier combo, which I'll make a video about, I'm really only running 20-pound braid on it. I put 30-pound on it, but that's all I had to put on it. So I really like high vis stuff first and foremost, is because I get to see the line and where it is. So if I'm throwing by some rocks or pilings, or in some snaggy areas, then I can see where my lure is and get a better idea of what it's doing in the water. So yeah, that's my setup. It's nothing crazy, just a 7-foot rod, 2500 size reel, 10-pound braid, and I'm just throwing a 1/2 ounce of that one. This is the leader knot that I use, the braid to leader line that I use. It's really not looking the best right now because I've already used it a good amount. It's coming undone a bit there, but never fails on me. It's called a FG knot. If you want to put in some time and upgrade from like a double uni or something like that, then I would definitely recommend learning the FG knot. I've been using the FG for years, and it is absolutely by far the best knot. Even when you're using this 10-pound, I definitely recommend using an FG knot. And for any connections to a lure, which I'll show you in a second, I'll use either a loop knot or a uni knot, depending on what kind of lure it is and if there's a split ring or not. So this is a leader line that I use. It's pretty thin stuff. It is called Daiwa J-Thread. I'll get it out here to show you guys. So this is what I'm using for my leader line. It's only 12-pound, as you guys, 16 pounds. So it's nothing crazy, but I see a lot of people, one of the main things with me is I see a lot of people and they'll use a lighter leader line when they're fishing. And the idea behind it is that they can basically, if you get a lure stuck in the rocks, then you can pull it out. But honestly, I think that misses the point of why we have a leader line in the first place. So the real reason I personally use a leader line is for the abrasion resistance, because braid is not abrasion resistant, the same as fluorocarbon is, and also the invisibility, of course. So, I mean, in the Bay Area, a lot of the time, if you're a land-based fisherman, you're going to be fishing around a lot of snags. A lot of oyster beds is what I fish around, a lot of rocks, and I don't want that line to break off. So if I'm using 10 pound, I'm not going to use 10-pound leader, and I'm not going to downgrade to anything lower than 10 pound for that abrasion resistance, because if you hook into a big striper, it could possibly take you into that snaggy area and then break you off very easily. So I prefer to use 16-pound minimum on my 10-pound line. I know a lot of guys do different, but honestly 16-pound is all I'm going to use in the future. And sometimes when I was in Australia, I would even go up to 30 or 40-pound leader, depending on what I'm chasing and how toothy the critters are. But yeah, around here 16-pound usually gets the job done. So that brings me to the lure that I'm using. This is just a little paddle tail, a little plastic. It's a Daiwa one, but I mean, that's not really important. It's like a 4-inch paddle tail, nothing crazy. And I have it rigged up here to a weedless with a jig head attached on right there. So I'll make sure you guys can see that there. But yeah, we just got the weedless set up here, and then it's got a little chin lock on it, which is a little weight right here that keeps it locked in, the top of the plastic. So yeah, this is pretty much what I'm running 90% of the time. I mean, this color for me gets it done really well. It's kind of a clear color, but it glows in the dark super well as well, and it lasts really long in the dark. So yeah, I like to run this lure most of the time. And you know, white chartreuse, a lot of people go with chartreuse, but I think white, and honestly I like kind of natural colors most of the time. But I just have that paired up with a 1/2 ounce jig head. It's a TT jig head. You could find lures like these, little jig heads like these, like on Amazon, I'm pretty sure. I know people start selling them now, but yeah, I really haven't gotten that much tackle since I've been back in the States, I will say. And I have that connected with a little loop knot, as you guys can see right there. So yeah, this is a loop knot, and it just gives the lure a lot more action. I mean, on this one, I'm not going to use a uni knot because you're pretty much just pulling it up right there. And I guess it doesn't matter as much because, you know, the lure is still moving freely. But if this was a connected single jig head, then you're definitely going to want to use a loop knot for sure. And the loop knot's still going to give you a really good amount of resistance. It won't break very easily. It's definitely not an easy breaking knot if you do it right. So yeah, I would definitely recommend that one as well. But I will use a uni knot if the lure has a split ring attached to the eyelet, because the split ring a lot of the times it acts as the loop in the loop knot, so there's really no need for it, and the uni is going to be stronger than your loop knot here. So yeah, this is the setup that I'm running. Nothing crazy, but you know, honestly, if you're chasing striper in the Bay Area, this is pretty much the only setup you'll need. I have 2 setups, of course, and the odds are you do too, but this is really the setup I like using a lot of the time, because you still get a good fun action with the fish, and you know, you feel that fight a bit more on the lighter line. But yeah, and one last thing I will say is I see tons of people loosening their drag so much when it comes to the striper. And I mean, this is 10-pound line, and I just caught like a 22-inch striper yesterday, and it barely pulled any drag. Like, that's how tight my drag is. So I'll just show you really quick. I mean, that's a bit light. I could definitely go heavier than that on the drag. And I would say if you're setting your drag really loose, like if you're catching 19-inch stripers and your drag is just screaming, then I would challenge you to tighten your drag next time you catch a fish, just to see how strong your braid is, because braid is a lot stronger than a lot of people think, and the odds are so is your fluorocarbon if you're using a good fluorocarbon. So yeah, those are the 2 things. I always use a heavier fluorocarbon leader than what my braid is rated for, and I lock down the drag pretty tight. But if you want to find a fish that's going to make you reel scream, you can go down to Cabo. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed that video, and I hope to see you on the next one. Peace.